Hi everybody, Claire Maxwell here with the Alexander Technique. My trusted assistant seems to want to contribute today. So today I wanted to share with you some new Mobilignment material, and I was just exploring these Mobilignment points in my online class yesterday, and I made some discoveries that I wanted to share with you. So Mobilignment is a way of using your attention to include yourself in relationship to your environment. And it's just very easy and very simple and very freeing. And I think it really gives my students easy access to the postural support and freedom in movement that Alexander Technique gives us. And so often those two things, postural support and freedom in movement, can seem to be at odds with one another. So this is my way of expressing how we can bring them together through a simple practice of paying attention in a particular way. So if I say the word collarbone, chances are that when you start to pay attention to that part of yourself, it might narrow your attention. You know, you might go into a sort of a sensing and feeling mode. So if you touch your own collarbone, maybe you can feel it. It's a long bone that is a strut that goes from the center of your sternum here. Well, there's a little space, and you have two collarbones, one on either side, and it goes across like that. So you can't really feel it. That's the thing. You can sort of feel it, or you can feel the impression of it under your hand if you touch it. But in a sensory feeling kind of way, it doesn't have a whole lot of nerve endings in it. But if you can imagine a very specific part of it, and where that part is in space, you might find that you have a different experience. So here's a picture. So this would be like if I was like this, maybe a little longer for my neck. And so you've got the two collarbones on either side, and I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there goes the car horns. Welcome to New York. That there's a pretty solid joint there with a cartilage piece that gives it spring. But there's a tiny little part of the collarbone on the right and left side that is above that joint space. So it's like a little point, and sometimes you can feel it under your skin. So what's that like? And is it possible just to, I don't know, maybe it's not even a correct estimate, but to estimate, well, where is that? You can't see it. So where is that right now where you're sitting or standing? And just to know, I've got a left one, and I've got a right one. So they're not, they're separate. You have two separate arms. Now this seems so obvious, but I just wanted to share with you after I was teaching a Mobilignment class, and people were moving and playing and having a good time. And I was just observing what happens when we put a little bit of weight on our hands. And I was seeing something happening here. I wasn't sure what it was. And so I just threw in that Mobilignment point for the left side and the right side. And wow, it really started to free things up. That I don't know what it is. Somehow we lose mobility here when we start to bear weight, or even when we start to use our hands. So maybe that's helpful for you to know, right, that even if you put just the tiniest little bit of weight on your hands, that you can begin to see, well, those two mobile alignment points, you might not be able to feel them, but you can certainly feel if they stop moving in space. And when you realize, oh, I've got a left arm and a right arm, and they can do different things, and often this arm isn't really going to be really free to do one thing if this little one doesn't adjust. And so, yeah, it's just kind of amazing. And then I was folding laundry, and I often get frustrated when I fold laundry because my lower back gets tight. And so I started to think, oh, well, where's my mobile alignment points? And I realized, oh my God, I'm stiffening them. I'm not, it's not staying mobile there when I'm folding. And then folding laundry became so easy when I realized, oh, I can get that little fold that I want. I can let this keep moving while I'm using my hands in different ways. So even if you just move a finger or lift a hand, what you might notice is, yes, this one moves, but also this one moves. So they play and they dance. And it's much more pleasant than being kind of, immobile here. So that's it. That's my lesson for the day. I hope that was helpful. Peace and love. Bye.